everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about something that I think about a lot and I think some of you can relate to, which is about putting yourself out there online. Whether it's like posting a picture or sharing a story or starting a YouTube channel, it can be really intimidating to put yourself out there, especially when you're just like a human being that makes a lot of mistakes, and just sharing your state of being to other people is kind of intimidating. I really thought of like the comment section as a way for me to reflect on and get some feedback about my decisions, and some of it was negative, so like that made me fear being online because I made mistakes and some people think that they demand perfection, and that's kind of like defeats the purpose of being a creator. It's because you want to share and connect with your community. So when I realized that I'm not perfect, but I want to just try my best and like share something, because if I don't have something to look back on, then I can't really see my progress. For the longest time, I was scared to share my life or my thoughts online. I was worried about being judged, about saying the wrong thing, or just not being interesting enough. But over time, I've learned to push through that fear, and today I'm going to share with you of how I did it. And this might not apply to everybody, but for me, this was kind of the thing that got me over the fear of being judged. So first off is just like realizing why I was afraid. Well, that was the main thing. I was like, why am I afraid of sharing my thoughts online when other people look like they're doing it just fine and I'm struggling with this thing? The first step for me was figuring out why I was so scared. For me, it boiled down to two things: fear of judgment and fear of failure. I had to ask myself, what's the worst thing that could happen? And I was thinking really bad. Like I was, what's the worst thing that could, how bad can it be? If I just show myself online, and then how bad can it be? And then that's when I realized that it wasn't that bad. It made it easier to take the first step into posting more and actually sharing my thoughts and stuff like that. So step one is to identify your fear. I didn't start about posting my deepest thoughts or like my grand ideas. I started small. On Instagram, maybe I post a picture. That's something that I was proud of, like getting my associate's degree, and then like a quick story about my day and like my job and what I was doing. And the key was just starting it, really. There's not much that I was actually, expecting out of it. I was just trying to start something. Each little step made the next one easier. So start small and build confidence. So step 3 in the process is that I realized what my why was. And then when I realized that my why was stronger than my fear, I wanted to share my experiences, connect with people, and maybe even into like inspire someone who feel the same way I did. So every time I felt nervous, I reminded myself of that purpose. So step 3, find your why. So and step number 4, which was to embrace the imperfections. I'm only human. We're going to make mistakes. I still do all the time. And I realize sometimes the feedback from my community is not always the most positive, because I do make mistakes, but I'm embracing those imperfections because no one is expecting perfection. People want something that's like authentic. So let yourself mess up. It's part of the process. You're not perfect. So if you do make some mistakes, at least share it so that you can get a little bit of feedback on like what's going on, and embrace those imperfections. So last thing I want to talk about, which is consistency is key. So the more you do something, the easier it gets. Over time, you'll start to care less about like what other people might think and more about enjoying the process of creating. And this is something that, I was worried about. When I was looking at the comment section, I was kind of like worried about what kind of comments I was going to get. And the more I did more videos, the more I realized, like I care about what my community thinks, but it's just not as important as I thought it was. And I quit YouTube at the moment where I had the most engagement. My quitting video got like 80,000 views. And I made that video because I got to the point where I just didn't care what anybody said. I didn't care about the views. I didn't care really about any of that. I prioritize my mental health above everything else. So that's how I overcame my fear of putting myself out there online. If you're struggling with this, and I know a lot of people are struggling with this, I hope these tips help you take the first step. So remember, the internet isn't as scary as it seems. It's a place to share, connect, and grow. And hey, if I can do it, so can you. Everybody can do this. It's not something special. You're just exploring your ideas and you're talking about these things, and the more you do it, the easier it gets. So let me know in the comments below what's stopping you from putting yourself out there. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss my next videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next time. Peace.